All right, everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode of the ICA Show. I am Alan, your host, and I am joined by Luke, your co-host. Regular lineup. Luke, how are you doing today?
Doing all right, Alan. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So yesterday we had an amazing show with Grandmaster Elshan. I don't know who in the comments watched it. It was a really good show, very inspiring. But regardless, today is a new day, and today we have a game show. And this game show is called Guess the ELO. It's going to be a classic. So it's going to be based on a rapid game that was played today between myself and my game, as well as two blitz games that will be played today. So let's bring on our guest. Let's bring on Adam. Adam, please come onto the stage. Let's see if this can be figured out by Thomas to bring Adam onto the stage. Perfect. Good work, Thomas. He has brought Adam onto the stage. Adam, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you? What's up, everyone?
Yeah. What's up? So I'm doing good. Luke's doing good. Unfortunately, can't say the same about your Wi-Fi, but that's all right because we have to move on with the show. So Adam, let me ask. I'm not going to ask for your last name. I'm not going to ask for your rating because the whole point of the show is for everyone to guess your rating. But let me ask, how did you get into chess? And what's your involvement now in chess?
Playing my whole life, really. Just 9th grade, started getting into it, joined my club at school. Over the past 2 years, became captain. I played a GM at my school, played him a couple of times, and learned a lot from him.
That's good. And now, I met you a week ago, and you're now at our school a coach, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's very good. So, how long have you been coaching in general? How long do you plan on coaching?
I've been teaching chess or coaching for about 6 months now in total. I've been at ICA for about 2 months now. I plan to coach or play for the foreseeable future. I have no plans. Just see how life goes.
All right, very good. So now that we spoke with Adam, let us bring our guest judge, aka host, onto the stage. Thomas, please bring yourself onto the stage. Welcome, Thomas. Thomas is going to be our guest judge for today. Thomas, welcome to the show. You're excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome onto the show. So we have a question currently. Adam, what is your USCF? If Adam were to give away the USCF, we might as well end the show early and I can go study into my midterms. But with the beautiful weather, I've been procrastinating studying for my midterms, so he can't get his USCF just yet. And also, I am a rock fan, which means we're going to be playing rock music as the background. And this will change next week when I cannot be here and either Luke or Thomas will be controlling. But as of right now, you guys are dealing with me. So let us get right to it. Let us stop the music. Let us share the screen. Let us get right to the first game. So Thomas, please share the screen as we welcome our other guest judge, Thomas's brother, Jack. Jack, welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
But Thomas, don't actually share the screen. Click add to stage for the chessboard. You see on the bottom, there's an add to stage for the chessboard, Thomas?
Yeah.
Perfect. So this game, Adam, our guest, is white, and yours truly, Alan Salnikov, is black. So I will take you guys through the game, and we will make lots of comments. Just so you guys know, this game was a friendly, but it was still played seriously. This is game 25 with a 5-second delay. Once again, Adam is white, I'm black, but Jack, somebody asked for a USCF right just now. So would you like to share your USCF rating?
Yeah. After a very successful Team East, I managed to get up to a rating of 1,367. So I'm very happy.
After a very successful half out of one in Team East where I was an alternate, my rating is now 1378. So the same as Jack. But regardless, let us get with the game so I can get to my midterm. Adam played d4, and I played, as all chess players play, c5. Classic Benoni, if it will load. So then, without any hesitation, Adam responded with c3, which usually I see people pushing the pawn right away. And then after this, en passant is maybe not the best because I'm ahead on development. So maybe just push here. But instead, I played c3. And then, this was an in-person game, by the way. Game 25, d5. Takes, d5. So far, everything's classic. And now we just have some development. Knight, knight. We bring the bishop out. I bring the pawn. And look, here, I had a few games where I brought my bishop out. But I don't want to have to deal with any sort of nonsense on this pawn. So that's why I brought the pawn out right away. What are your thoughts on the opening so far?
Yeah, so it's worth noting, we started with a Benoni, but we've transposed into the exchange variation of the Slav. So very, symmetrical position, but White's advantage here is that they're a move up, right? So, yeah, Alan, like you said, it's a little bit hard to bring this bishop out so comfortably because White's always just one step ahead and they can come out with Queen b3 with some annoying pressure. If Queen b6, there's already a capture, I believe, which can be quite troubling. But yeah, this e6 is pretty normal. A lot of times this bishop will stay home, this knight will come out, this bishop will come out somewhere, d6, b4. This is, I think, a very solid position. A lot of times you see this move a6, and this bishop will slowly start to, it's going to be a bad piece, but it's not the end of the world. This is, pretty common for the bishop to stay a little bit passive in these lines. So,
yeah,
in the game, knight f3, normal development, and bishop e7. I think I'd like to challenge this bishop right away. Was there anything you were worried about here?
So I was trying to evaluate very quickly whose bishop was better. And truthfully, I thought my bishop had a future. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to trade it right away, which clearly I didn't. I want to keep it on the board, maybe exchange knight for the bishop later. That is why I did not do this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So bishop e7, e3, all normal. Bishop d3, knight d6, and a3. A3,
Right.
so stopping knight b4, right? I guess that, makes some sense. A lot of times you see this type of battery being set up. So, okay, rook e8, maybe going for the ICA Show classic maneuver, rook e8, bishop f8, our favorite. Castles, and knight h5. So, there's always a question of, are you going to play h3 to save a square for the bishop? Actually, I kind of like h3 here. I'm not going to lie. This seems like a very solid position for White. And again, White had that half tempo ahead that translates itself into, look at this, the queen's bishops, right? White was able to get their queen bishop out, whereas Alan, like you said, you were a little bit worried of bringing this out because White would be too quick to the punch with this queen b3 move, poking at the b7. So yeah, White has, I think, a very small but an advantage that's not going anywhere anytime soon. But after castles, knight h5, I think, is a sharp decision. Trying to challenge that bishop right away, and bishop g3. So typical move, right? Adam, I have to ask you, did you consider leaving the bishop to be captured? This is all usually.
I considered letting the bishop just be captured because the knight going to e5 is very powerful with the rook behind, but the knight takes the pressure with the knight on d4 and the fact that my pawn can't get rid of this knight. I didn't think it was worth it. I was too slow, and I'm trying right in this position right now to try to line something up in the king, maybe bring my knight or bishop.
Yeah. So I think bishop g3 is normal move. just to show the idea, let's say we see a move like rook e1, just anticipating the capture and where this file will open, right? Takes, and okay, it might look like, if you haven't seen this idea before, that, you know, white has crippled their structure. This looks terrible. Doubled pawns, isolated pawn on d4. But a lot of times this is very solid, because yes, we've given up the bishop, but that was the dark square bishop. Now we already have almost all the pawns on dark squares, and we probably are going to go g3, king g2. A lot of times you'll even see like h4, just to take all of this space. And again, this huge grip on the e5 square is making it very difficult for black to move, especially, as we've been highlighting, it's going to make it really, really tough to get this bishop out. And just, like, for example, queen b6 is never really going to win a pawn, because, like, let's just say queen d2, there's no capture here. I hope everybody at home can see why, right? There's going to be an x-ray at the end of that variation. So this is always, I think, an interesting idea, but I like what you did. Very creative move in a different way, where after knight takes g3, you go for this dynamic f takes, which, okay, can you explain your thought process here?
I want to take the file, bring the pieces over closer to the rook, and I'm looking at this position right now. Black's pieces are all in this box right here. If I can, and they're kind of stuck. My pieces are closer to the opponent's king, and I want to try to bring everything into this area right here.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So before we continue the show, I would like to publicly humiliate Thomas, because Thomas is not looking in the private chat.
Okay.
All right, we can keep going now with the show.
Wow.
Jack, you too.
Ruthless. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Interesting decision, right? Very dynamic, I think. Going for this damage to the structure, right? We always teach the students to, you know, respect their pawns. Usually you want to take towards the center to keep your pawn chain intact. Taking away, of course, leaves this pawn pretty weak. But yeah, like you said, you open the f file, or, you know, now it's a half open file. A lot of pressure towards h7. Now, I think, since as white you respond dynamically, I think as black you should also consider, you know, ways to punish this right away. A move that jumps out, right? We're seeing this pawn construction here is weak. A move like e5, even though it looks impossible, I was wondering if this worked tactically, just with the point that, like, okay, let's say you take, like, okay, actually now that I'm looking at this, doesn't look like it works. Actually, it doesn't work at all. There's takes. But like bishop f8 here, for example, and just try to win the pawn back. But okay, actually this doesn't work either because of this. Okay, maybe my e5 move is not correct right away. But yeah, I feel
what
like
about
that's the
f5?
move. I'm
really not a big fan of that move.
Bishop.
I weep for the bishop. I weep for the e6 pawn.
Yeah. And the square in e5. That's going to be a tough one. Now, to combat the open f file, in the game, Alan says bishop d6. Okay, I see what you're going, right? We're protecting the e5 square, but this bishop is really, you know, kind of sad looking at these pawns.
I was debating whether to put it on d6 or f6. I just knew I had to get it out because e5 was next.
I really like bishop f6 for two reasons. One, you put a little bit of, you know, meat behind this, in front of this rook. Also, this bishop, it's staring at the pawn on h7. I want to go g6, and that makes a very nice hiding spot for my bishop on g7. It blocks the light square bishop on d3. And okay, still, this bishop is not great, but a lot of times you'll see like a6 and b5, and even though in the position I'm describing, every single one of black's pawns is on a light square, this bishop can sort of just go to b7. Not great, right? Of course, but at least we're developing. We're clearing the way for the rook to come to c8 and try to play on the half-open file while claiming that this pawn is a long-term weakness. Right? right?
Yeah,
So
in
I
retrospect,
think, yep.
in retrospect, that move is the better move. But game 25, meaning I play some moves when I make a move, and I realized that the other candidate move was much better, even though it's not really an excuse here because I went from 25 minutes at the start to 20 minutes after bishop d6, like 1 minute of thinking. So yeah, it's just a matter of time management. But yeah, let's move
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so bishop d6, again, not the end of the world, but just one last point on this. You could see the difference in the dueling moves here of e5 and e4, moves that both players are considering. Here, it makes it very difficult for black to play e5 because the d5 pawn is loose. If bishop f6 were played instead, now it becomes very difficult for white to play e4 for the same exact reason, right? The d4
Yeah.
pawn is weak. So I think that's sort of an interesting, theme there. But okay, bishop b6, queen c2, so again, lining up the battery. h6, okay, I mean, it's a question of h6 or g6. Was there something you were worried about it if g6 happened? I mean, of course, the dark squares look a little weak, but I think, white doesn't have a dark square bishop. Yeah, I don't know. I just because the g6 it blocks out the battery here. It looks a little
Adam,
bit strange.
Adam, did you prefer me to play g6 or h6? What would you have preferred
I
to
wanted
see as the opponent?
I wanted g6, and I was thinking maybe at knight h5, and then I take the pawn, and I had some kind of sacrifice here.
Interesting. Yeah, there are a
Uh,
lot of times in these positions, like let's say g6, like at some point, like a knight on g5. Okay, actually, like okay, I'm just saying sometimes there's a sacrifice where like you can sack on h7, but I guess that actually the more I look at it, the less sense that makes.
So,
But okay.
Thomas, bring that comment back up. So,
So yeah, that's a good point.
So instead of queen c2, if I can load it,
Bishop c2 with the typical
bishop c2,
yeah
bishop c2, and queen d3.
yeah lining up this way. That yeah, I like the idea. There, I guess point being you'd really force g6, right? Because of course h6 wouldn't cut it because queen h7 is coming with a much stronger check. So yeah, I definitely like that idea. I think this is this looks right. But okay, queen c2 is also very natural. Not to say that this is like a mistake or anything, because okay, the benefit is now you can still use the c file, whereas before, if the bishop is on c2, that would be more of a problem. And in the long run, black would probably be beating you to the punch. But okay, it's chess is a game of give and take. So h6 is played. I guess the benefit of h6, right? You're keeping this knight out for a little while longer, and rook f2, very typical plan. You get to double up the rooks. I always like this like small doubling. I always thought that was kind of cool looking. Where I don't know, you only need 2 ranks, right, to double the rooks in a very powerful way. e5 now. So striking in the center when your opponent is playing on the side of the board. That's very thematic. This seems like the move you want to play, right, to weaken up this construction here. And okay, Adam, you see the pawn is hanging on d5, and you say, thank you very much. So I this is, of course, I'm sure you calculated. Was there anything other than what happened in the game that you were looking at here?
So which one?
I was
Adam?
looking about take the pawn maybe e4, but everything just looked too soft, and I was just getting smothered. I felt just taking the pawn and trying to play e4, I felt was strong, and I got a good center. And this knight is very powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it can't be kicked away. So he takes. Were there any other, responses from black that were worrying to you, or was that what you basically expected?
No, everything just expected, really.
Fair enough. So okay, he takes and e4. I really like this move here. Just gluing the knight in, and okay, you basically have solved the problem of your center. Now, okay, you've given up this e5 square, which may or may not be a problem. For the moment, it doesn't really seem to be one. But you've also covered up this diagonal with your opponent's own pawn, and it seems very difficult for black to really break through here or break in on the dark squares. Like for just point is you'd want to play knight e5, but there's knight d4, I believe, unless I'm missing something. Like I mean, yeah, there's nothing. So, yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. I mean, you might even go for a sacrifice like this, by the way, which sometimes happens. I don't know how much merit there is here, but maybe there's some compensation somehow.
Don't I just get
down
this
a pawn,
whole file?
What?
Don't I? If you do this, don't I just get the file here? And I'm creating an attack here.
Yeah, but my point being, there's some compensation for the pawn. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you don't really want to go f6. Yeah, this actually looks, the knights actually look a lot stronger than I thought at first. Yeah, fair enough. So maybe there's not enough compensation there. But okay, just to show the typical idea of using this weak or isolated e4 pawn with the weak e5 square. But okay, we get some development. Bishop b7. I like the move. Just preparing to bring the rook to, have a staring contest with the queen. Rook a to f1, lining up on the e file. Rook c8, queen d2, and bishop e6. So just to instant replay, bishop d7, bishop e6. Was there anything worrying you, Alan, that you didn't want to go bishop e6 right away?
I mean, yeah. I felt it would just be good to get the rook onto c8, just to have its own file. Maybe there could be counterplay in the future. There wasn't anything worrying me because at the moment, even with those rooks doubled up, I knew there was a threat, but nothing immediate. So I felt I had time to make at least something of my on the queen side.
Fair enough. So okay, we get back to their position. And knight h4. I really like this move. A lot of times, this f5 square is, is a really nice spot to put your knight, and especially here because you can't play g6, right? If you play g6, that pawn you put on h6 before is hanging. So, okay, it's not to say that h6 in itself was a terrible move all along, but this is just to illustrate one of the potential downsides of h6 as compared to g6 in that position earlier. Here, it's very difficult to stop.
G6 on its own. G6 on its own. Queen h6 comes with a punch, though.
Like if you could go like this and go queen h6, I'd just go bishop f8. Pointing to the ICA classic. Rook e8, bishop f8.
Yeah, and even knight f6 is more powerful.
You also get knight f5.
Yeah, knight f6 is powerful.
Okay, but
yeah,
the position would have evolved differently, most likely.
Yeah, let's move on.
But yeah, just pros and cons. Just
pros and cons for sure.
One of the cons there. So knight e5. So taking advantage that this knight has left its pressure on d4. Very centralizing move. Knight f5, and here I know it looks weird, but I almost just want to take this. I feel like that's what I just want to take it. That knight is, Gary Kasparov said a knight on f5 is worth an extra pawn, or something along those lines. I don't like the look of that knight. There's too much pressure over here. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna say there's a sacrifice probably already. I'm concerned to say the least. In the game, oh, you did take. Okay, good. I thought you did something else. Okay, yeah. So you do take. You decide to trade everything. I think this knight is better than this bishop. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right?
Fair point.
Knight's doing a really good job keeping this bishop very passive. I mean, yeah, this move is never really that much of an issue. I'll just go back. But okay, you trade and knight f6. Wow.
Here we go.
That's the move. Yeah, that's a pretty big move.
Is it the wait? It's the
Now-
best move.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out myself.
So I obviously took.
Well, so is there anything else you can do though? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not, because this pawn is always hanging at the end of it, of those lines. I mean, like, just for the sake of, you know, for scientific purposes. What if I do this? Probably.
Just at the exchange. Just take.
Well, yes. Oh wait, I'm moving the wrong. Yeah. What's the material? Okay, but I feel like this is almost a better attempt to hold. Okay, maybe not. Maybe this is just really bad. Like, just going back to this theme of this knight on f6, it's a really strong defensive piece. Now, of course, like you say, this is just an exchange for white, but maybe there's some compensation. But okay, just because this position looks very scary, I have to say. So okay, here bishop f8 once again. Was there
I
something
completely
here that
missed this move.
Yeah, this I think
Completely
actually
missed it.
Yeah, this I think just kills the attack. Yeah, because the bishop just comes back. Right. Like, let's see, go back, just 95. Right, takes. Right, okay. Just I think this is pretty solid. Yeah, and queen g5, there's knight g6, the rook is pinned, which is important. So okay, in the game though, I get rook c1, which okay, giving back the piece, but declined by Adam. You could be you know, a materialistic type of guy, and probably the attack still rages on, but this rook h5 move I think is just very you know, very cold to spot, and mate on h8. I don't know how you're stopping that, right? That is that's a big problem. So in the game,
The only thing that can be stopped here is the clock.
okay, yeah, I guess this is literally just mate though, right? There's I don't know how you stop that. So wow, interesting game, interesting sacrifices all around. Again, I'm telling you, rook e8, bishop f8. Your king will thank you. This is you know, an unintuitive move maybe to see, but it's always important to remember that the bishop does in fact move backwards. But okay, very nice finish. Rook h5, not even taking the rook. So just to show how the game might have continued, let's say we take. Okay, what next? Right, not really anything to do. That is simply checkmate. The pawns here, again, doubled pawns are not always weak in and of themselves, but they weaken squares and prevent your pieces from maneuvering as they'd like. Here, there's just nothing you could do. No bishop e5 to be seen. So very nice game. Any final thoughts, Adam or Alan or Thomas or Jack, for that matter?
Yeah,
who's joining us?
I'm gonna go back. Can I was looking at knight f6 the entire game.
Yeah.
Back when I went knight h4, my idea was somehow to try to play knight f6.
That's always a tricky sacrifice, especially with the queen on d2. I think this is a really nice example of the two knights coming into the attack. This is yeah, exactly what you want to be doing. So okay, here, just one last thing I was curious about. I'm always interested in an ugly move like f6, just to say the f file is you know, closed. Now there's really. I'm actually no. I'm sorry. You can probably sack a piece right away in the same way.
Yeah, knight just takes.
I'm blind. I forgot the knight was still there. Yeah, this is actually just the same thing. And maybe bishop f8 still. Can I do it? I mean, actually, maybe this is almost holding.
No, because Isn't rook takes
Yeah,
takes f6 and potentially?
I don't know. It's hard to say. But the knight f6. But point being, if you play f6, knight f6 is probably you're just slowly gonna build it up as white, and it's gonna just come with a lot more force. So so yeah, okay, very nice game overall. And Alan, I guess I'll pass it back to you.
All right, so good game from Adam. Maybe not as much for me, but regardless, it is now time for the blitz portion. So, Adam, what I want you to do right now is accept a friend request from Thomas and Jack. You will play Jack first. Jack's chess.com name is in the private chat. Let me know if you're good. While you guys are setting up, Adam and Jack, while you guys are setting up, Thomas, let me ask you, based on the game that you saw, give a rating prediction and why.
I think it was a pretty good game from Adam. But I do think knight f6 was quite a bit of a blunder. But otherwise, like, I really like taking on g3 with the f pawn. And I liked how you built up the attack. So I'd probably say around like 1600.
1600. All right. Jack, Adam, challenge each other to a 5-minute blitz game. No delay, no increment. Jack, for what you saw, what do you think his rating is?
I think around what Thomas said, 1600 is pretty accurate. It was definitely a good game and showed a lot of good attacking ideas. I would say more like 16 or 1700. I was quite impressed with the game.
And where would you guys put me, just for curiosity?
I would put you at 1350 probably.
Yeah, that's around where my rating is. All right. Did you guys start the game yet?
Who am I challenging?
You're challenging Jack. His chess.com name is already in the private chat.
Yeah,
You're
I'm challenging.
Do you want to send it to me or?
Yeah, I sent it.
Adam, do you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you just click on watch if you scroll up.
They started already?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the game started.
All right, let's go. Let's change the music.
Yeah, that's the default song to reveal our secrets behind the scene.
This guy said that he puts my rating at 1156.
That's a very specific rating. I feel like I trust that more. It's like when you're guessing in the jelly beans jar. You gotta.
I want this guy to
extra
come on.
specific.
I want this guy to come on and play me.
Wow, he's mad.
Alan, is he guessing your rating is 1156 or Adam's rating is 1156?
Mine.
Yours? Oh.
Knight a5. Okay.
So as of right now, Adam is black, Jack is white. No, he does not want to challenge me. You see, it says here no.
Okay, something looks off about this opening. I'm gonna be honest. Something
For what color specifically? Both?
for black.
For black.
Something seems off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Might that decrease his...
Whoa! So excuse my volume. A3. Oh yeah. Okay, now it looks very right for black. I'll elaborate on why that was later after the game. But yeah, bishop on g4 is okay. Maybe he's going for a setup. Maybe he has some preparation. Queen d7. Okay, h3. I'm taking it. Maybe not. Maybe actually I am. I'm sorry. I hate to say it.
All right. So our projected rating is now going down, unfortunately. It's going from 1700.
Ah,
Down to
Brian
14.
Andre with a very insightful point. I mean, the fact that he played E5 makes my prediction 1400. That is a very good observation. E5, E4, E5. Whoa! Oh my goodness! What? Okay. Okay. And no sacrifice on H3. I'm getting ahead of myself. E4, E5. That is an opening you see or quite the opposite in the rating spectrum, or maybe somebody who has a chessable course, potentially. Adam might have might know something I don't. I can't be sure. But okay, excuse my exclamation there. H3, I said before, I'm taking it. And the reason is because there's a pin on the F2 pawn. So you're not only going to win 2 pawns for a piece, but I'm pretty sure you're going to win a third one. The combination of knight G4 and let's not forget queen G3 check is always in the air. We'll have to look at that after the game. Okay, capture. Now, will we get a similar theme? Okay. I like 8 takes. C takes would be a meme type of move. Okay, bishop G5, very nice move. And again, this is what I was saying about that bishop on G4. I don't know where that bishop is going, especially now. Oh, big move here for Jack. With the white piece.
Out of this. Oh yeah.
And
Here
this is what. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, what? He finds it. Actually, it may be not so clear. Actually, it might be very clear now that I'm more look at it. Okay, very nice. The other move to consider, I think, that was very interesting, instead of knight e5, was there might have been a g4 move, which would be very bold, but if the sacrifice wasn't working, after like bishop g6, knight h4, that bishop is never going to see the light of day. But okay, rook e3, I like the move. Rook g6, also, I'm a fan. I think there's kind of an interesting defensive idea here, although it might not be very good. Okay, king h2 looks correct. That seems like a nice move.
I am upping Alan. I am upping Alan rating. Thank you. I appreciate it.
To 1460, wow, that's a big jump.
He's giving me 1460, wow. Because he didn't want to play me live, that's what's going on.
Okay, rook a, I like this switch of play. But can white take advantage here? I feel like the answer should be yes.
Can white think quickly here? That's the question.
No increment, right? This is, or no delay.
Nope, no delay.
Yeah, so
and I think it's time to beef these up a little.
Neil Gupta, can we submit games? Today,
no.
I believe we're just doing the one, but Alan, I think that would be a good idea in the future to have people submit their games. That could be interesting. Yeah,
for the future. For the future, yes, but for this Guess the ELO concept, it's all about Adam today.
He says he didn't know if you're rating for any reason besides the fact that you put the effort in. And I respect that. Effort's worth something. But is it worth 300 ELO is the question. Okay, trades. Queen f5 is a nice move. Okay, 30 seconds for Jack to put it away. Queen E8. Okay, I feel like we need to get that rook active. That rook on A1 is...
Who's playing right now? Jack is white. Adam is black. Adam is the guy whose rating you guys have to predict.
Okay, the rook's coming back, up and around. Queen F6, okay,
20 seconds. 19.
am I not trading? Okay. Ah, even better, wow.
Ooh. Deadly. Knockout.
Oof. Wow.
Bam.
I think that was a nice game, by a nice positional game by White, but yeah,
Bam.
there's
my
more than
gosh.
just the positional element. That's a tough one. That's a tough way to lose that game. But okay, Alan, do you want to go over it?
Look, you said you had a moment you wanted.
Oh yeah, I thought there were two. So
Go ahead.
after H3, okay. I'm gonna need who's sharing the screen here?
Oh, maybe. All right, H3.
Yeah. So after H3, I thought you could sack a piece.
Sack a piece.
Yeah.
Let's turn on the eval for it. So H3 takes.
Am I wrong? Oh no.
No,
Yeah.
no, not really.
Okay, I thought it. Yeah, I thought this worked. Does it not? Takes.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you have to go D4. And maybe this is complicating things. Actually, I wasn't looking at D4. The point being the combination of knight G4 with queen G3 check. Yeah, actually D4 is kind of a strong move here. And I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to do about that.
All right. So let's.
Yeah.
keep
Okay.
going.
Maybe it's not as strong as I thought. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So
But okay, if you
Thomas,
the other moment.
The other moment. Tell me the other moment. Well, so while we go to the other moment, make sure Adam and Thomas, you guys are friended and ready to go. Meanwhile, Luke, take us to the other moment.
Yeah. So after bishop takes F6, which of course that's
I
got to
don't
be
like
correct,
you.
right? Just really.
Bishop takes F6. What
yeah.
move was that?
That was a little bit later.
Bishop takes F. Here we go.
Yeah. So after takes, so of course this must be correct, right? You really damage the pawns here. G4 is a very bold move, but I thought it worked. 95 is nice too. Okay, and this is just a tactical solution. I'm just curious about this G4 move because it's you get a very typical good bishop versus bad knight. Like immediately, I mean.
So
After G takes F6, G4.
G takes F6. G takes.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
Just
go.
to
G
show
takes
the
F6. G4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
And okay, Rook G8. Then I'll just go like King H2. Or probably King H1 even. Both are probably okay. Actually, probably King H2 is better, but it doesn't matter. But point being, if this sacrifice isn't working, which I don't think it is, actually King H1 makes a little bit more sense because you have Knight H2 if you sack a piece. But after Bishop G6, this is a perfect example of how that bishop in the Italian, when you go to G4, a lot of times you have to be committed to give that bishop up for the knight on F3 or for a pawn on H3, right? Because if you play Bishop G6 here, this is just look at the bishop. It can't move. It's never going to get good, right? Classic game, Capablanca versus Winter for one of the classics. Same situation. Those doubled pawns on F7 and F6 mean that bishop will literally never find a diagonal, which is very sad to see. It's always going to be blocked up. White will just put all their pawns on light squares. And okay, I mean, in the game you won a pawn, so. But I think this is just a very nice example of that concept.
All right, Thomas.
Okay.
Thomas, you can now challenge Adam.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Okay.
Thomas, what's your rating?
My USCF is 1768.
Okay.
So this is the game to watch for the
Let me know.
guesters.
For the
in the
guesters.
chat. Yeah.
So I have to win, is what you're saying.
Put up a good fight. So in this game, Adam is this time white. And Thomas is black.
Okay, stone wall. There's.
But let me turn the evaluation off quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oops. All right, now we're good.
Okay, so symmetrical stone wall, not an opening you see every day. I think this is a position that says a lot about a player, how you can handle this type of closed position. So okay, queen c2. Okay.
Same, no? Same thing.
Yep.
Symmetric.
Completely symmetrical. c4.
C5
Are we gonna
now?
see? Yeah. It might be the best move. Okay, b6. That seems like a. That seems like a
pretty
move.
solid.
Yeah, I actually like that move. It does weaken a little bit of this chain here, and the e6 pawn might be a little bit weak if you're fianchettoing the bishop, but I think it looks solid. Okay, b3. A little more space for white.
Let me just say, Luke, I'm so happy to play the Benoni in my game because in this position, I'd probably be completely out of my prep.
Yeah, this is a strange position. I don't think I've ever looked at this symmetrical variation. This is yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work to make this interesting. Okay, knight f3. Okay, still very symmetrical. Now I'm just waiting for someone to play g5 or g4 at some point. King h1, h3, rook g1. I want to see it happen. Okay, I really like bishop a6 as a move. I don't know if it's what you're supposed to be playing in this structure, considering the pawn on e6, but it looks nice. Maybe a5 first could have been interesting, with ideas of a4, but also liberating the pawn before playing bishop a6. So now that a7 pawn, I don't know, it's a little bit weird. But maybe it's good. Maybe if you play a5, there's like a c5 move, and the dark squares become weak. Okay, king h1. There we go. Okay, king h8. Wait, why? Okay. What? I thought we were playing rook g1. I thought you were going with my plan.
Or not.
Or not. Yeah, just don't go yeah, don't get like mated somehow. Like if you go rook g1, like knight f2 happens at some point. Also h3, rook g knight g3. No blunder. Okay, rook ac1. This is where the position is going to open up at some point. It's a matter of time. Will we see c5? That's sort of the break in the position here. Okay, I don't know why both of you played king h1, king h8. Is this the thing? Like if your friends jump off a bridge, why'd you copy? Okay, but is that a blunder? No, I thought it was. Oh, or is it? No, I thought it was for a second. I thought you could take everything on c4 and knight f2's mate, but the knight on e5 defends. Or doesn't. Let me stop talking. Yeah.
I think we can get more analysis just from hearing Adam's breath patterns.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, thankfully you can save yourself, but barely. Now, will there be a blunder? Okay, takes. No. Okay, never mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm thinking there's like some sacrifice on knight f2's mate. That's what I want to see. Okay, I like that decision. That I think is actually a very
Same.
good
Yeah.
decision.
And then
Or is
we're pretty strong.
because that bishop on a6 is going to become very strong. I have a feeling. Once you play c5, that king on h1. Okay. Uh-oh. Never mind. Why not take with the what? You win it. You're off a piece if you take with the bishop. Okay. Well. Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. Thomas is under a minute. You know what that means, Luke, right?
Time scramble. Okay, but it's three. What is it? It's 2 pawns for a piece. So this is actually a very promising position. Okay. But I don't see how you're going to break through given that bishop on d4 is so strong. But also, I don't see how you're winning the pawn either. On a2. Uh-oh. b4, b3. Uh-oh. The pawns are strong here. Oh no. Okay, h3. Okay, somehow the bishops have done their work here. It's very, very difficult to break through with those 2 pawns. Whoa! G3 is very loose. Second rank opens up.
Look at the white rook. It's completely trapped. I mean, not completely, but
the bishop's coming to d5. This looks bad. This I think I would have just walked the king g1, f2, just to make sure there's no that this doesn't happen. G4. Yep. Uh-oh. Okay, but pass pawn for white. Uh-oh, there's the game. That is tactical. That is not going to cut it. E6 takes. Okay, but now it's again a matter of time. Bring the king. There we go. Those pawns got to get rolling on the king side. Okay, oh, very nice. Okay, but opposite bishops. This should be
a win for white. That's what it should be.
2 pawns outside passing. There we go. Yep, there's the game. Very nice. Can he mate with his second
right
lap?
on time.
Okay, there we go. That'll do it.
Stalemate!
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Wow. Beautiful. What a game.
Wait, what happened?
Game.
Bonus time?
It's a tie.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Bishop e4.
Can I get a rematch?
Move.
No, I have to do my midterm.
Wow.
But what I will say is, Thomas, the saving grace for you is that this show is not about you. It's about Adam and Adam's performance. So what we're going to do, everybody in the comments, give one final guess. What is Adam's rating? Brian says, I keep my prediction at 1600 to 1650. And now let's go. Let me stop sharing the screen. Let's go to our panel. I'm gonna go to each one of you in rating order. Jack, Thomas, Luke. So, Jack, what do you think? What is Adam's rating?
I think at this point, I'm gonna go with between 1600 to 1700. I would have to lean towards 1650-ish.
Just to clarify, right? We're talking USCF.
USCF. Thomas.
That was a good game. I was winning, but I messed it up.
Remember, it's not about you. It's about
but yeah, like
it.
by how well Adam played in our game, I think he did really well. So I would say around like 1600, 1650, somewhere.
And this random guy said 1755. Luke.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the deal or no deal strategy. The low ball is 1600. I'm gonna say 1599.
1599.
Absolutely.
So now, yeah?
Yeah.
So we have anywhere between 1599 to 1700. And Adam, what is your rating? Reveal it to us.
I'm unrated. I
Zero.
have a USCF rating. Yeah.
Zero.
Okay. Wow. Okay,
Unrated.
Zero.
that's a trick question. Okay. Guess I see the punchline there. Wow. I guess I win then. There's the
Mostly
strategy paying
self-taught.
off. Cover all
Well
the
then.
numbers between 1600 and 0.
What a climax.
Okay.
We were
okay,
saying
very,
1600, 1700, but actually, well, technically, if you look him up on USCF, it will show like 1100, but after a provisional rating of 6. So basically
6?
0.
I didn't know they went below. I thought they didn't. I thought
No,
they capped
no,
it at
6
100.
I meant 6 provisional games, 1100.
Aha. Okay.
Adam, they're asking for your online rating. What is it? Adam, what's your online rating?
One thing I want to say though is I played this GM recently and I'm 4-0 against him.
Cool. What's your lead
I
chest
noticed
rep?
you did. Yeah. Adam, you there?
Yeah?
What's your lead chest rapid?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your lead chest
Lead
rapid
chest
rating?
rating?
Yeah.
Unrated, everything.
So what's your
I cannot play online.
So yeah, it's just a big 0. But another reason why I made this challenge specifically for Adam is I want to see where we put his rating, what other people think his rating is, because it's curious for me to see really the level of unrated players, especially with all the new craze around Elshon and his classes. Would we recommend to Adam the Future Masterclass or the Masterclass? I told Adam to go to Future Masterclass, but actually, maybe the Masterclass is better. Who knows? I don't know. We'll speak about it later. But regardless, it was a great show. It was a fun show. Big climax. Thank you so much to Luke, as always, for hosting. Thank you so much for Thomas, as well, for being in the technical controls. Got better over time. Thank you for Jack to being guest host and judge. And thank you for Adam for being such a good guest, for providing such good games, for defeating me earlier today, defeating Jack, basically losing to Thomas, but then stalemating. So yeah, we will be back with you next week with a new concept, more games. Goodbye.